Hello, everyone. This time, I will talk about the heavy burden of life that we experience as we live. What heavy burden are you carrying now? There is no one living in this world who does not have burdens. Sometimes, people around you think that they have no burdens and no worries. But in reality, that is not the case. He has his own burdens and worries. Everyone has difficult burdens. Are any of you struggling with your daily life? Are you worried about not having a job? Are your relationships difficult? Are you suffering because something unfair happened to you? Are you suffering from an illness yourself, or a family member? Do you suffer from unexpected accidents? Are you struggling with the problem of sin? There are times when we bring difficulties upon ourselves due to our own mistakes and carelessness. And there are also times when difficulties come without doing anything wrong. Although each person's case is different, everyone in the world has their own difficulties and heavy burdens. There are financial and physical burdens. But there are also mental and spiritual burdens. Some people feel inferior and alienated. Some fall into depression due to isolation and loneliness, and some suffer from guilt. Some people, when they are having difficulties, do not want to talk about their difficulties to anyone. Even if you talk about it, it won't help anything and will only reveal your shabby appearance. On the other hand, some people seek counseling from friends, family, or counselors. If you receive advice and comfort through such counseling, you may feel lighter and find it easier to bear heavy burdens. But people of faith do not think that human counseling is enough. When you receive comfort and answers from God, all your problems will be solved and true peace will come to your heart. Do you have true friends to share your struggles with? I am grateful and gain great strength. If there is someone who can help me and be with me when I am in trouble. Moreover, if the person who helps me is a true friend, who can even give up his life for me, and has the ability to solve all my problems, there is nothing more to wish for. Jesus said this. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. Jesus gave his life on the cross for us and made us friends. If we do what Jesus commands, we are Jesus' friends. We can cast all our burdens on our friend Jesus. Jesus fully understands and sympathizes with us, because he personally experienced the various tests and sufferings we face, while living in the world with the same body as us. Jesus experienced hunger while fasting for 40 days, in the Judean desert, and knew what poverty was like. After living in the countryside of Nazareth for 30 years, he suffered the worst pain of being crucified due to people's false accusations and the death sentence that Pilate passed without finding him guilty. Jesus, who was resurrected and ascended to heaven, is still interceding for us as our high priest to God the Father. If we rely on Jesus and pray to receive God's mercy and grace, our heavy burdens will be relieved. There is a saying in the Bible like this: Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Jesus told us, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes?" And he asked us to see how the flowers of the field grow. Even if no one waters or nurtures the flowers in the field, God makes them grow by sending rain and providing sunlight. God grows the grass of the field that exists today and disappears tomorrow. So why do we, who are children of God, worry about food? Jesus told us to think about it and not to worry. If you think, you will come up with a plan, but if you worry, you will only feel anxious. In the face of not only food, clothing, and shelter, but also disease and all kinds of difficulties, we should think but not worry. If you pray and leave it to God during times of worry, God will either solve it, or give you the strength to overcome the difficulty. God knows that the world we live in is hard and difficult. He told us not to worry in advance about tomorrow, even though the daily tasks we live with are difficult. One day's trouble is enough for one day. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Apostle Paul said that no temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind. And God is faithful, He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Therefore, when we are tempted, we must pray to God and find a way to escape. How long should I pray? Some people try to pray, but worry that they cannot do it for long periods of time. It is not important to pray for a long time, but it is important to believe that God will hear your prayers and make them happen. Jesus said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." You don't have to talk a lot for God to hear you. When Jesus teaches about prayer, He says, "When you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him." How should we pray? Some people say they don't know how to pray. For those people, Jesus taught how to pray. The prayer Jesus taught contains everything we need to pray. This, then, is how you should pray: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. God's consideration for us is meticulous. It is said that every hair on our head is counted and known. Jesus said this, "Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground outside your Father's care. And even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows." Jesus said to us, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me." Believing in God and believing in me means that He gives us a clear guarantee. Jesus' words to believe in God, who counts and protects every hair on our head, and to believe in myself, truly reassure our hearts. This is what Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." I hope that everyone who watches this video will lay down all the heavy burdens of life to Jesus and live with a light heart.